Hello everyone, this is Chromý and together we will continue the course Interdisciplinary Approaches to Language and its Use. In this presentation, we will focus on the acquisition of grammar in bilinguals. The key question in the bilingual acquisition of grammar research is the issue of cross-linguistic influence. More traditional approaches stress out the autonomy of the development of the two grammatical systems of a bilingual. The idea is that two languages are developing in parallel. However, during the last 20 years, various studies pointed out that two grammatical systems might be interdependent. This is still quite an open question, and there is evidence for both ideas. A classic study which argues that the grammatical systems in bilingual children develop in parallel is the paper by Johanne Paradis and Fred Genesee, Syntactic Acquisition in Bilingual Children, Autonomous or Interdependent. The authors claim that if the systems would be interdependent, they would exhibit three phenomena. There would be transfer, which means an incorporation of a grammatical property into one language from the other, and it is most likely to occur if the child has reached a more advanced level of syntactic complexity in one language than in the other. Transfer may also lead to acceleration. Acceleration means that a certain property emerges in the grammar earlier than would be the norm in monolingual acquisition, and this would be due to the existence of the same structure in the other language. The third potential manifestation of interdependence involves the overall rate of acquisition. For Paradis and Genesee, this would be a situation when the bilinguals would be behind monolinguals in their overall progress in grammatical development. However, the results indicate that the bilingual children show no evidence of transfer, acceleration, or delay in acquisition. Therefore, Paradis and Genesee argue that grammars are acquired autonomously in bilingual children. During the last 20 years, various studies presented evidence for the interdependence of the grammars of bilingual children. Interesting study was published by Katrin SCHMITZ, Marisa Patuto, and Natasha Müller. They studied subject realizations and omissions in German-Italian, German-French, and Italian-French bilingual children. German and French are non-null subject languages, and possible omission of a subject is pragmatically constrained, in each language in a different way. The German-Italian children realized too many subjects in Italian, which was probably due to German. On the other hand, the French-Italian child behaved like monolingual children in these languages. In other words, French did not influence Italian at all. The study by SCHMITZ and her colleagues is important because it explicitly formulates conditions for the cross-linguistic influence in bilinguals. The first criterion is based on a previous study by Avke Hulk and Natasha Müller, and according to it, the vulnerable grammatical phenomenon is an interface property, for example a grammatical property located at the interface between syntax and pragmatics. The subject omission is a good example because it is a syntactic phenomenon which is constrained by pragmatics. The second criterion is that the surface strings of the two languages A and B are analyzable in terms of the syntactic derivation of one language, which is less complex. In case of subject omission, it should be so that if the less complex language does not allow argument omissions at all, like French, it will not influence the more complex one, which is Italian. In other words, if the complexity of the two derivations differs, but the grammatical phenomenon in both languages is expressed in a rather different way, the child will not take the less complex analysis in order to analyze the construction in the more complex language. Before we will conclude this presentation, I have one reading tip for you. If you are interested in the cross-linguistic influences in bilingual development, you should read a review article by Ludovica Serratrice, Cross-Linguistic Influence in Bilingual Development, Determinants and Mechanisms. If you enjoyed the presentations, we would be glad if you would like them on YouTube. That is all from me now. See you next time.